no matter how hard life feels right now, things will get better. You just need a little more patience. Because life, for all its pain and chaos, is still beautiful. I've always believed that. I believe people still love each other, that we still have neighbors who care, governments that try to protect us, and yes, even strangers willing to risk their lives to keep us safe. That was my view of the world. At least when I was a kid. But you probably didn't click on this video just to hear that. You came here because you want power. You want to understand how to rise, how to survive in a world where the strong live well, and the weak are forgotten. And honestly, I don't know what happens to the weak, because nobody ever cared enough to find out. That's why I'm going to share something with you. A rule, or rather a set of laws, that if you apply them the right way, can give you the influence, respect, and control you've always wanted. Even if you don't care about ruling others, even if you're just trying to protect yourself in a world full of liars, users, and power players, these laws will open your eyes. You'll begin to see the game, the real one, hidden beneath smiles, handshakes, and fake kindness. But understand this. Nothing in this world is free, and these laws, they come at a cost, not in money, but in who you become. So if you're ready to see the truth, to learn the laws that govern control, status, and survival, keep watching. Because once you learn how power works, you'll never see people the same again. The video series will be divided as follows. Clips will be released, each covering a set of laws, with a total of 48 laws. This will be your complete guide to power. Law 1. Never outshine the master. Most people believe that if they show off their talents, skills, and brilliance in front of their boss or superior, they'll earn love, admiration, maybe even a promotion. But that's not what happens. What actually happens is fear. The moment you shine too brightly, your superior starts to feel threatened. They see you as a future rival, someone who could replace them. And when that fear creeps in, it turns into envy. And envy always leads to destruction. But here's the secret. If instead you make your boss feel like they are the foundation, like they are the irreplaceable piece in the puzzle, then they'll protect you. They'll even grow to depend on you. This is a law that has repeated itself all through history. Times change, but this rule doesn't. Let me tell you a story from 17th century France. A man named Nicolas Fouquet. He was rich. He loved parties, women, luxury. But he was also incredibly smart, a true master of finance. So brilliant, in fact, that the King of France, Louis XIV, couldn't afford to let him go. He was too useful, too skilled. Then, in 1661, the Prime Minister died, and everyone expected Fouquet to take his place. It was obvious he had earned it. But Louis, for reasons nobody really understood, abolished the position completely. Fouquet felt his status slipping, his power fading. So he came up with a plan. He would win the king's admiration. Not through politics, but through a party. not just any party, the most extravagant celebration France had ever seen. The excuse? A simple one: the completion of Fouquet's lavish new palace. But the real goal? To impress the king, to prove loyalty, to show that no one admired Louis more than Fouquet. The party had it all: 7-course feasts, music composed specifically for the king, a garden tour filled with glowing lanterns and perfectly trimmed flowers, and finally, a grand fireworks display that lit up the night sky. Everyone agreed it was a masterpiece. Even the king couldn't hide his smile. But the next morning, everything changed. Louis XIV had Fouquet arrested, thrown into one of France's most isolated prisons. He spent the last 20 years of his life alone. His crime? Stealing from the state. But the truth, most of that money was spent for the king, on orders from the king. The real reason? Louis couldn't stand being upstaged. He was proud, egotistical, and deeply insecure. He needed to be the brightest star in the room, and Fouquet, by throwing the most magnificent celebration in royal memory, stole the spotlight. What Fouquet thought was admiration was seen by the king as competition. And when you compete with power, power strikes back. Here's what you need to remember. No human being is completely secure. We all have our weaknesses, our doubts, our hidden fears. And when you shine too bright around someone who holds power, you don't inspire them. You awaken their insecurity. You become a threat. And while envy from strangers is easy to ignore, envy from your superior, that can destroy your life. Never outshine the master. Make them feel safe. Make them feel essential. Because if they feel like they need you, you rise. But if they feel like you could replace them, you fall.